This case is one of the series of cases known as the golf ball cases. The loss of golf balls seems to have a very curious way of raising interesting points of law. It's well known that golfers, despite their best efforts to stick to the fairways, will often hit their ball into the rough or into a water hazard. Often they cannot find their ball within a reasonable time, and so the ball will be abandoned. It's also understood that while looking for their own ball, players might come across other balls lost by previous players, and a player can keep any lost balls they find. Balls hit into water hazards, however, still have economic value to the club operating the golf course. It's common for those clubs to engage professional divers to go into the lakes and collect the balls, which can then be sold to other golfers as second-hand balls. At the same time, the general law is that once an item has been abandoned by its original owner, that is, once the original owner has clearly given up their right of ownership, then anyone might come along and take possession of those abandoned goods without any accusation of theft. In this case, the defendants were discovered on a private golf course in scuba gear with a bag full of wet golf balls. They were charged with theft. They relied on the argument that the balls had been abandoned. Lord Justice Mantell said, "It is said by the defendants that the golf balls, having been abandoned by their original owners, as it was accepted they had been, the removal of them by the appellants could not amount to the offence of theft. If no one other than the two appellants had any claim to possession of them at the time, that proposition must be right." However, someone else did claim possession, the golf club. The golf club maintained that any balls lost on the course belonged to it, and while it was happy to tolerate players keeping any balls they found during a game, it was quite another thing for someone to come along in scuba gear and dive for the balls. The two men were convicted, and from this case we confirm that goods abandoned on private property will typically then belong to the owner of that property and cannot simply be taken by others.